All right, so let's switch now to on-page SEO. So what are some of the things that we need to talk about? And I'm going to do a quick overview of HTML. My apologies to those of you on the phone who can actually do a little bit of coding, but we get a lot of marketing folks who don't really understand this stuff, and I think it's very important that once you understand sort of the very, very basics of HTML, you really understand how search engines work. So this is what HTML text looks like. And HTML just stands for Hypertext Markup Language. And the idea here is that it takes regular text and applies tags to it in order to basically govern how that text will appear on a page. And so all of this HTML text actually comes together to look something like this on a web page. And you'll see its HTML text looks different to a person than to a search engine. And if you look at the word look, that actually is up top here. You'll see a B and then a /B and these little wickets here. So that's because that's basically telling the computer to present that as bold. Same thing with the word person. There's I and sort of a /I in these wickets. That's showing hey, display the word person in italics. And then finally, you'll notice that there's a link here at the end, and there's sort of an href thing here too. And basically, it's saying, okay, I want the word search engine here, but I really want it to be to appear as a link, and I've got a link to something. So it's basically how search engines work. So what's interesting about this is all of this text. Basically, there's a whole bunch of ways to just mark up text. And there's ways to sort of describe to a search engine to a web browser how to make that page display to people. And so when you think about that, every page that we see, so if this is a screenshot of sort of the Hubspot homepage from a couple weeks ago, that page, Google doesn't see that page the way it looks right there. It doesn't necessarily understand colors, doesn't understand backgrounds, it doesn't really understand images that well. So when Google and the other search engines look at a page, there's certain things that are more important than others. The most important thing on this page is something called the page title. And this is in that HTML text, and it governs what appears in that top bar of your browser. So this actually, we've updated our page title on our home page, but a couple weeks ago when I put this presentation together, it was internet marketing software. I think it's a little bit longer now. I think we added a couple other keywords recently. But basically that's, internet marketing software is the page title. So we've got good keywords in that page title. The second thing is in the URL. So this is an older URL, different, but what you want to look for in the URL is internet marketing software. Those keywords, again, are in the URL of the page. The third thing is the content of the page itself. And especially there's things called H1, H2, and H3 tags. And those are basically the big, bold headlines on your page. And Google and the other search engines do look at those headlines as being more important than the other text on the page. So you want to make sure, again, that you've got good keywords in there as well. So you look at all three of these things so far. I've got internet marketing software in all three of those fields. And then finally, on the page text itself, I've got the words internet marketing software in that page text. And even looking at sort of what's bold and what's highlighted within the text is also important. So you want those same keywords on each page. All right, there's also some on-page SEO that's a little bit more invisible. And what I mean by that is that you as a human, when you browse to the page, you don't see it. But there's a couple things that are sort of part of that invisible on-page SEO. The first is this description. So when you do a search in Google for internet marketing software, one of the results you get in the first page is this, so it's the Hubspot result. And you'll see that this black text in the middle here, that text is actually the description of that page. And as a marketer, what I can do is I can actually write that description myself, and then it appears to everyone who finds that page in a search engine. So what you really want to do here with the description is it's not going to help you get ranked higher, but what it is going to do is it is going to help you get more people to click on your listing. So with the description, typically you want something that's going to be enticing to people, a little bit promotional in terms of really encouraging them to click and making it seem like they're going to get the information that they're looking for. And then as part of that too, you'll notice that the words internet marketing software are bolded. And that's because that search phrase is what I searched on. So as much as you can to have the same search keywords in that description toward the front of that description is just going to reaffirm for the user that what they're searching for is actually on this page and just encourage them to click. All right, so something else is there's a meta keywords field as well. Our recommendation is that you do use it. It is an opportunity for a little bit of SEO. This field is not that important anymore. Most of the search engines don't give that much weight to it, but it is something you can do. It's relatively easy to do, so you might as well use it. And we really believe a lot of people, it used to be 5 or 10 years ago that what you wanted to do was do lots of keywords in that field. But today we really feel like the search engines discount you if you do that. So what you really want to do is have maybe no more than 5 or 7 keywords in that field. And then the final thing that you can't see as well, which is actually pretty important, is the alt text on the images. So way back when the internet sort of was first getting started and download speeds were really, really slow, people would occasionally put images on web pages, but they took forever to download. And so what happened was people developed this way of putting this alt text, so it's alternate text is sort of what it means, and it's a way of describing in words that are typed into the page of what the image actually is. And the search engines, because they can't see an image, will actually look at that text to understand what the image is about. So what you want to do is have descriptive text in all of your images. A lot of times today people forget to do that, or just, because they're lazy, they don't do it. But you really want to do that, and you want to, as much as possible, include keywords in that alt text to really describe what's going on. So for instance, this is the alt text on an image that looks like this on our homepage is Internet Marketing.